Ahora estás viendo a Rusty como. Morning to you, cousins. It's Rusty here, and I'm running over here to this outdoor yard sale. It's community outdoor yard sale. Never been to this before, but it's quite large. Hoping to find a couple of things. If I do find something, when I get back to the warehouse, I'll pull it out, I'll show you, we'll talk about it. And I just think this might be fun. I'm certainly not the first person to do the whole thrift with me thing, but you know, I'm gonna give you a real live action shots here of what's going on. Let's go find some treasures. All right, folks, you didn't actually see me get anything because I didn't want to be disrespectful, and a lot of these people who do these shows, folks, on YouTube, who have way more views than I do and more subscribers, they do a lot of this showing themselves, and they talk to the people and they put a camera right in, and I'd probably do better on YouTube, folks. I probably would. I'll admit it. I'd probably have more subscribers, more all of that, but it's just, you know, it's just not my thing. I want to be respectful while I'm talking with them. I do this for real, for a living, not just for a YouTube channel. You're just along for the ride, folks. This is my life. You get a little bit of a window into it. I'm not just a content creator. I certainly do not make the funds from YouTube to survive from this. So anyhow, I apologize I didn't show you that. I think what's more important is me trying to give you some knowledge and educate you on what I actually found. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to get back to the warehouse. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to show you what I bought. I'm going to tell you what I paid for it and why I got it and why I think it could be worth something. Hopefully this information, though maybe not as entertaining, will possibly help you in the long run. Let's get to it here in just a few. Folks, we are back here at the warehouse. I've laid everything that I got today out here so you can see it. And before I start into this, showing you these things, talking about why I bought them, what I paid for them, and what I plan to do with them, I wanted to give you a close-up look. I'm going to spin this Lazy Susan situation here, and I want you to look at them, and I want you to think to yourself, which one of these is more valuable like maybe the most valuable thing in here. So I'm going to start you off here. Looking at some watches, some watch faces, some dials here. Got this. All right, moving along. We got this. What is that, Rusty? Well, I'm going to tell you. Got this right here. A couple of these things. Look at that. All right. Pair of leaf earrings there. This contraption. Little bracelet. All right. All right. Make your decision now. We're going to start into it. All right, folks. You probably can tell the theme here. First off, it's a lot of it is jewelry. And it just so happened that there was a decent amount of this stuff. And also, if you've watched our channel long enough, you will know that the majority of the things that we like to specialize in are antiques and collectibles that are small. If it can fit in your pocket, it's probably amongst the things that we're looking for. To start off, right here, these two, I'm going to start off with these little watches here. These two came just like this when I got them. One says Waltham, and this one says Otto Grün. You can see it right there, Otto Grün. You can see that the crystal or the plastic, whatever that was, is missing. Okay, this one doesn't have it at all either. I think that this was a small pocket watch at one time. It is now just a movement. Waltham, you can see right here it says Waltham, USA. Further down, it has some other things that it indicates. Most of the time, these things will tell you how many jewels they have in them, or they'll give you a serial number like this. And if you get online, you can search for that particular movement. It'll tell you all kinds of information about it. This was most likely also like almost like a tiny pocket watch. There was like a little, probably a gold-plated or silver fob chain that went off of this, and this was at the end of it. You could pull it out. It's just really small. This is gold-plated. All right. This is not gold-plated, but the movement does work, and so if a person has a case for it, that could work. These were basically 50 cents each. These both. This one right here says Clinton. Okay, it's got the back on it. It says base metal or stainless steel metal. And this right here is a lady's bulova in the crown of the winder there. It says bulova on it as well. It's a nice little lady's piece here. It has a gold filled watch band. Both of these did. And so I actually removed the watch bands, which were both damaged, unfortunately. So I'm going to sell those in a scrap lot of gold. Okay, and then these I'm going to sell individually. So I'll take the backs off, I'll look up the information, and I will try to sell those movements either individually or as a group. Next up, folks, we got this necklace here, and I've left the price tag on this, $2, and I want to take you down the line here. So we've got this particular type of almost like a hook and post. I'm sure that's not what it's called. There's a term for it. This kind of rod, it slips through that and pulls in, and that's the how it latches together or clasps. We got these different beads. This is kind of like a brownish, almost butterscotch color. This kind of bead right here. And then we've got a bead right here, which looks to me like a brass. It's a brass color with either legitimate turquoise chips or some other white mineral that has been dyed blue to make it look like turquoise. And then some sort of a red type of substance, some sort of a mineral as well, chips in the center of these. And so the whole necklace is it's graduated. Well, it's not graduated, but it's interspersed with these different similar ones in the same spots, right? It is not marked silver, so I don't see any markings of silver, but it definitely gives me the impression that it could be silver. It's quite heavy, and this looks kind of like, I've seen ones that were actually from Moroccan ones. There are also different Middle Eastern pieces of jewelry that are made to look like this. But the first thing I did when I got back was I actually got out some semi-chrome polish, and what I use that for is to test these beads to see if they are Bakelite. When I see something like this, my guess is that this is either Bakelite amber, like genuine amber, or some other type of plastic that is made to resemble either amber or Bakelite. And so I did test this, and it actually tested positive for Bakelite. So that told me two things. Number one, this was a good purchase for $2. If I took this apart and just sold the beads, I could sell each individual bead for probably $2 or more because it's Bakelite. So it was a good purchase. I'm going to make my money back. Number two, that means that this necklace is quite old. It's made, the inside of it is actually some sort of a rope. It's a fiber. It's not metal. And then the fact that they've used Bakelite, which is one of the earliest forms of plastic that actually has ammonia in it. If you rub it and you get it hot and you smell it, it smells like ammonia. I'm going to look up and see if I can find any like this. But Bakelite, if you're not familiar, very sought after, collectible. All kinds of things were made out of Bakelite, from appliance, like radios and stuff, all the way to different types of jewelry. So get yourself something called semi-chrome polish. It's pink, and when you rub it on it, if it either turns like a black color or does nothing at all, then it is not Bakelite. But if it turns an orangish, like a bright yellow orangish color from the pink, then you know you have genuine Bakelite. All right, now folks, we're going to go into earrings next real quick. So right here we have this little pair. You can see that they're heavily tarnished on the side. A lighter colored metal with that tarnish. When I see this from a distance, I already know instantly that it's silver, because I've dealt with enough of this metal to know exactly what it looks like, how it tarnishes, and how this type of jewelry is made. This is a type of turquoise here, and then on the back, if you flip her over, it actually says MEX 925. So this was manufactured in Mexico, and it is 925 sterling silver. Okay, those cost me $1. Then we got this pair of earrings, which is like monogram script letters, which is very, very popular in the 1800s and into the very early 1900s. I don't know if this is like an MSM or if this is like a W something W, or this might even be just like the monogram of a particular club or something. But these are gold tone. When I turn them over, let me see if I can, let me zoom in real quick for you. Perfect. So you can see on the top here, it's a screw back. That's the old style of a screw back here. It says PAT and a number. That's the patent number for this particular type of earring screw. Like that device itself, that portion of this, and back in the day when it was invented, people who manufactured with certain things like this had to put the patent number on there. And then down below it, down here where my thumb is at, on the other side of that, well, let's see if I can get it in my fingers so that you can actually get down there and see. Yeah, it's upside down, but let me flip it right over. You can see there, it says 1-20 12K. So this is 1/20th of this is 12 karat gold. So it's essentially gold filled or gold plated, and these are definitely older. And then this next one here, this next set, I'm going to pull up here. Whoops, I keep dropping these, folks. All right, I got them here. This is a gold tone leaf shape earrings. If you turn them over on the back, which is where you get all your information almost, you see a couple of things. Number one, it says patent. Again, that's this particular type of clip earring. Okay, it's a different kind. This is a newer kind. Then right there as it turns, you can see it says sterling. I don't know if you can read it. Yeah, sterling. So then I flip it over here on the end. Napier sterling patent pending. It's all together. So Napier is a fairly well-known and somewhat well-collected brand, costume brand of jewelry. We have the patent number of the clasp, and we know that this is sterling silver. So just because something looks gold color doesn't mean it can't be made out of silver. It's just what's the other metal that they're using. The other type of metal is what's going to make it that soft yellow color, but it is 925 out of 1,000 parts sterling silver, and that just cost me 50 cents. Now, folks, we're going to go into these brooches and pins. So two of these have a particular look, one does not. And that's because the two that are similar, these two, are quite old, whereas this one is much newer. But the reason I got this is it was $1. All right. And if you flip it over, you look, there's no manufacturer name and there's no stamp of any sort of precious metal. So this is a basic alloy. Again, I've talked about this on the channel multiple times. The fact that there's this little bit of scratching kind of like texture in the back is usually pretty much a telltale sign that it's a cheaper piece of jewelry. That's not that there's exceptions to the rule, of course, but a lot of times when I see that, it's pretty easy to pass by. But on the front here, what we have is obviously it's a bird, a little hummingbird. I think it's a well done design. You've got all of these rhinestones on the front. It's complete. It's not missing any stones. It's in good condition. And then you have this beautiful blue, red, and green enameled paint color, and there's even that kind of a glint of fire in that red. It's quite attractive, and so I think that it will be easy to sell this and make my money back. So when it's such a low cost to get in, it's pretty easy to do. Now let's move over to these, folks. I'm going to talk about this one first. This one cost me 50 cents today, and I couldn't believe it. It was amongst a lot of other much newer looking costume jewelry. And when I see that, I think to myself, this is probably just manufactured to look old. But I picked it up and I looked, very clear stones. I like the way that this bezel is around here, holding those into place. And this beautiful little chain. So I flip it over to discover that this is in fact a pin, like a pin brooch. It's a darker color, kind of on the back here. You can see, but a beautiful design. And there's this pin here at the top that's holding it up. There's a tiny little name marked on the inside of that, and it says Jody, Jody. I'm not familiar with that. Also, it's possible that this pin portion itself was either glued or soldered on later on. Maybe the original one fell off, possibly right here where you can see like a discoloration. It may have been a weld that came loose. But what you're looking at, this stone, folks, is called carnelian. Carnelian. It was pretty popular back in Victorian era and like late 1800s. This is a very, very old piece, and for 50 cents I was overjoyed to find that. Now let's move to this one. This was a really cool piece, folks. When I flip it over, I'm just giving you a good look here, first of all, to see we got these, what they look like, flowers with like teardrop looking pearl things, and then several large rhinestones, red stones here that have these pretty heavy duty, clasps. They're bent over here on top of that, prongs. So when you flip it over, you see that there was a lot of effort put into actually making the back look attractive as well. We've got these stamped flowers on the back. You're seeing light through these stones, which is a really, really a good sign. It means they're actually held in, and they're not glued into place. They're actually held into place. It's quite heavy. That's another good sign. I don't see any stamps on this saying that it's made of silver or gold, though my suspicion is that it either is sterling silver or it is silver plated. But this is definitely an older piece based on this particular type of pin, which is like a brass type of a substance here, a metal. This type of clasp that just swivels over. Very cool piece. I paid $2 for this. No, I paid $1 for this. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was, see these little, what they look like faux pearls. These are not actual pearls, and you can even tell that by the fact that there's some wear on the top of this, and you can see it's just clear underneath of that. So this is either glass or some sort of hard resin plastic with a coating over it, and it may be that these were cultured. They put in some sort of a bead, and then they let the pearl culture part start to grow over it. But what I like about these is that they are not glued in either. If I flip her over, you can see right here where my thumb is at, that round part, that's the underneath side of those. These things have a piece of a metal rod through them, and they have been welded down into place. These are not glued in, and so that's another sign that this is a pretty well made piece, and that it was probably quite valuable at the time as well. All right, folks, so far the things we've seen have been worth anywhere from $10 all the way up to probably $60, $75, but we have not yet come to the most valuable thing. Stick around. We're going to get to it here in just a moment. I want to talk about these because they're a little bit similar. This right here, I bought in a lot of 3 things, and I paid $3 for all of it, including this. I wasn't sure what it was, but when I saw this style of chain, I knew that it was older because I've seen these before on different pieces of jewelry, necklaces, and such. This is heavily tarnished, folks. You pop this puppy off, and it just comes right off. Inside here is a little piece of glass. Do you see that? Yeah, some glass. And you'll also notice it's a lot shinier on the underside than on the outside. We'll get back to that in a moment. But this whole thing can actually pop up and open. Again, when I do that, it's quite, you can see there's some tarnish on the inside of this. This right here, this portion pops up and off. And again, we're looking at a piece of glass here that at one time was a mirror. Okay, so both of these were made to make a reflection. And then we got this in here, which is kind of cool. And also, we got some like lettering in here. Numbers L48 had something to do with the manufacturer maybe of this base to tell what it went with. But if you examine this a little bit closer, and you see all around, what I'm doing now is I'm thinking, well, this has all the telltale signs of silver. So let's take a look. I always start on the side or on the front where clasps are. That's a good place to start. So on the front here, I don't see anything. Along the side, along the side, along the side, nothing. And then when you come to the back here, and you get up real close, I'm going to... Nope, not there. Maybe it was on this side. It just popped off. Where are we at here? Ah, there it is. Right there, where my thumbnail. Is that right? No, well, Rusty, doggone it. Where is it? All right, folks, I found it. I thought it was on the back. I'd forgotten. It's actually, or on the back by the clasp, but it's actually down below, on the bottom, below where the chain connects. And it says International Sterling, patent July 19th of 1922. So this is a 1920s. Looks like kind of like a compact. It might have had makeup in it. It might have had other things, probably makeup. Sometimes these are like snuff bottles and stuff. But anyhow, really nice. Again, that came in a lot of 3 things for $3. Now we have this. This was in a case with a lot of other like Southwest jewelry and other things like that. And I heard him quoting prices to other people, and I thought, well, I don't think there's going to be anything here that's going to be worth it. But then I was like, what is that? He's like, I don't really know. And so we pulled it out. I'll let you see the top of this here. This is like a plastic, these faux pearls that have been glued down into place. A handful of them are missing, as you can see. But you pop this thing open. Again, this was made to be a mirror originally. That's flaked off. And then you have this interesting material right here. I don't know if you can tell the sort of the striations in it and stuff, but this is a type of material, I believe, that goes by the term pyrrolin. Pyrrolin, P-Y-R-O-L-I-N. A lot of vanity brush and mirror sets have this type of material as like handles for them and stuff during this time period. Now, I have not exhaustively looked through this, but I'm pretty sure that this chain is either silver plated or sterling silver. And upon looking it up, you can see this is essentially like it's a bag. You've got this kind of colored portion here, and if I hold it, it just kind of hangs. You can see like this. It's this metal bag with this cool little top on it, and then this cool chain with these little red beads. This is what I believe they called a dance purse. A dance purse, so that when these ladies back in the 19-teens and 20s were going out dancing, they could take this little purse. It could hold a few items like their brush and stuff, maybe their makeup. Ooh, look, I just have to pop this open and I can look at myself and adjust my makeup. that kind of thing, and they could hold it over their arm, and it was this attractive looking thing. Really cool. I paid $10 for this. The guy said, yeah, this is my mom's booth actually, but she had to run over and do something, so I'm whatever. And so I asked him what the price was. He said $10. I did not haggle with him or try to get more. There's no damage to it. It's completely intact. $10. These things are selling in the $150 to $200+ range. Even with this, and I've looked, I've not found any that are this color. I've seen other ones. I think it's quite nice, and was very happy to get it at that price. Now we're moving on to the watches, folks. This right here was a minute ago I mentioned that I got something at a lot of three for $3. This was one of the other two things. It was this watch. The brand is Mathey Tissot, Tissot. I believe that's a French brand. I may be wrong on that. It might be Italian, but I think it's a French brand. Anyhow, you've got this watch with a beautiful blue dial on it. Definitely some corrosion. This tells me that this is not a precious metal. Whatever the coating was, might have been silver plated at one time, but whatever it is, it's corroded. It's just a brass or like a base metal underneath. Kind of beautiful from the front though, and it's still got the nice gold colored band on it. If you flip her over like this, you can see on the back of the watch, again, it says the brand name, and it gives you MT. This is a number, either of this model or something, it has to do with this particular watch. If I were to take off this back, again, like those other older movements I showed you, there should be some serial numbers or things on there that would give me some information about, help me when I research it to know the date, maybe the model type. Or I can just, I could Google Lens this sucker and see what is selling out there. I could look on eBay for comps. But for $1, even if it's not working, because of the brand name, which is still a collectible brand, I know I could sell this for much more than $1, shoot. And if I feel like I need to throw it in a lot of other watches or watch bands that, that are older or not working, this would be one of those things that could kind of sweeten that deal a little bit. This is quite an attractive looking pocket watch. You can see the pretty intricate scroll work there on the top. If you look through, you can see what is clearly a gold-plated hands on the face on the inside. Look up here, you can see the winder here. This is where the chain would have been attached. You turn it over, there's this interesting design on the back here. A little bit of residue from what was a sticker at wherever the last place was that it was trying to be sold, I'm sure, that hasn't been washed off. And so this is going to be the top that you can open both the front to see the face and also the back to see the movement. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do this. There's a little button here. You can see right here where my thumb's at. See that little button? You would push that button in, and at the same time you kind of use your nail to open it. I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand, so let me get it open for you and we can take a look. Okay, I have it open now. You can see here in the upper left corner that on that porcelain face there is a little bit of damage. You see that little crystal came off there as I'm holding it. Try to drop her back in place here. All right, so right here you can see the metal portion. I'm going to go ahead and shut that just so I can keep that crystal back in place here. All right. Now, in the back, I've opened the back as well, and it has two different parts. The first part is the inside of the casing. And if you look at, I'm trying to get it so that you can see where it says, yeah, there we go, 800M. And there's a number. 800 is the number associated to the metal and what is on this. This is silver. It is 800 silver. It is not 925 silver. 925 is otherwise known as sterling silver. 800 is 800 out of 1,000 parts instead of 925 out of 1,000. But it is still silver, and it's quite a good, it's 80% silver, essentially. This says the Ancre, or Anchor, A-N-C-R-E, Spiral Brigade, Lane Droit, 15 rubies. So it's a 15 ruby. You can see, oh, there it is at the top. 800M with a circle. So this case is silver, 80% silver. And then if I open this up to Now we can take a look, and you can see LUC. That's a manufacturer's mark stamp of what it is. It says 15 rubies, so instead of it saying it in the actual movement, it says it on the case. And here, once again, you're seeing 800 on every part. So this is one of those. It's a manual wind. So you would wind this right here up like this. I'm going to wind it. I'm going to see. Trying to listen to see if I can hear. See if I can open this back up. Let's take a look and see. Is it moving? Nope. Nope. Trying to see here, folks. Nope. So this is going to need some repair, right? It's going to need some help by someone who knows how to repair these. But still a beautiful piece, and someone would buy it certainly for the silver content, if not to repair it and have just a very nice old pocket watch. All right, folks, the moment you and I have both been waiting for. Drum roll, please. We have come to the most valuable thing here. Now, how many of you said, oh, I bet that little gold and silver colored tone link bracelet's the most valuable thing? Well, that last pocket watch I could probably sell for between $80 and $100. That little pouch that I showed you, probably $150 to $175. I got this, folks, for $2. I left the tag on it because it just makes me smile. A lot of times these are just costume jewelry. This was in with a bunch of other costume jewelry. But again, you can't just, don't judge a book by its cover, they say. It's the same thing with jewelry. Even if you've seen something 100 times and it was always costume jewelry, you need to look again. And one of the big reasons is because, folks, costume designers and makers of costume jewelry, what do you think they're modeling their jewelry after high-end valuable stuff a lot of the times? And so just because you think you've seen it before, you might have come across the real thing. And folks, this is exactly what the real thing looks like. I've taken it apart so that I can show you. What we have right here is, this is the top of the clasp. And it is a brand that I'm not personally all that familiar with, but I looked it up. Chimento or Chimento, C-H-I-M-E-N-T-O. Right here you can see that shine. That is a diamond. If you flip this puppy over like this, you're going to see it has a star, 408 VI, and 750. Now, I don't know what the 408 VI stands for yet, but I can tell you that the 750 stands for 18 karat gold. So in the United States, most of the jewelry made here bears the marks 10, 12, 14, 18, 20, or 22 karat, a number with a K, indicating the purity of the gold. But the European jewelers oftentimes will stamp, and even other parts of the world, other numbers, 585 or 750, 585 being 14 karat gold, 750 being 18 karat gold. So what we have here is most likely all 18 karat white gold with these middle links and even this clasp with a yellow gold kind of overlay. Also on this part of the clasp here, if I flip it over on the underside again, it says something here. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Mod. I can't even see what it says while I'm looking at it. But anyhow, I looked this up. I looked up this brand, and this particular bracelet and others just like it are selling anywhere from $1,200 to $2,500. You say, Rustiano, what? Are you kidding me? You're saying I could go out and find something for $2 in costume jewelry and it could end up being worth $1,000 or more? 100% yes, I did it. I didn't do anything special. I just picked it up and looked at it, folks. And I had to have some prior knowledge to know what 750 meant, but you know what? Now you do too, if you didn't already. So don't take my word for this, folks. Let's jump on eBay really fast, look up this brand, and just see what these these pieces of jewelry, what the prices that they are currently commanding are. Oh, folks, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I started seeing that stuff, I got downright giggly with myself over excitement. Folks, you can do this too. There's not a whole lot of tricks to it. It's just spend a little bit of time educating yourself. Old Rusty learned a lot of what he knows starting out by looking at YouTube videos just like you're doing right now, and I'm forever grateful to those individuals. I'm hoping that I can put a little bit back out there. Not that I'm the only one saying this stuff. Shoot, there's lots that came before me, lots that'll come after me. But if you landed here today, I hope that I helped you out. Maybe you can help you out in the future. So if you like this video, please check out our other videos on jewelry and other small collectible items, because maybe that information could help you too. We'll see you next time. Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty.